Konnichiwa senpai, please notice me. I watch Asian cartoons, I'm a weeaboo.
Do all people who eat their popol really enjoy it?
Nice.
Do game developers tend to shit on fans' ideas and wishes while pushing out their own agenda?
Is there any plans to make this playable on PC, or is this strictly mobile forever?
Are there any? The current plan is to be on mobile, both Android and iOS. We don't have any plans at the moment to do PC. Do you guys not have phones?
Yeah, you guys all have phones.
And do most raid leaders go way too far with their explanation before even trying the boss?
Ready, guys?
Let's do this. Leroy Jenkins!
Oh my god, he just ran in.
While many of these prejudices are true, others have been established and developed over the years, mostly by the simple absence of knowledge and experience. So let us delve into the common perception of Final Fantasy XIV's player base being weeps. And impartially said, weeps or weeabos are described as people who take their enjoyment of Japanese culture a bit too far. And while I personally don't have any issues with that, this mostly transposes a negative tone, and I want to clear things up with this video. So let me show you where this discussion has been brought back to life, or why this is still a relevant topic. Which directly leads us to Mr. Asmongold and his community. For those of you who may have never heard of him, he's one of the most popular World of Warcraft streamers that impersonates a character he established by himself and creates influence over a vast audience that feels home in the WoW-centered but also widespread MMO sector. No matter if you like or hate him, we cannot deny the fact that comments of a streamer with a superior quantified audience than some game developers have on their live streams will in fact have a significant impact onto the subjects they are talking about. So here's what Asmongold said while reacting to a video that a famous creator of our community made when she lost her passion with WoW and transferred it into the Final Fantasy XIV universe.
So the cat girl thing, I'm not sold on the cat girl thing, okay? Like that's kind of... This right here, I'm really... It's super hard for me to say... I'll put the video, right? It's super hard for me to say that it's not a weeb game. You know what? Is this game for weebs? Is this game full of weebs? Yeah. That's probably a good way to look at it, I would say.
Surely, a game being produced by a Japanese developer cannot hide from its cultural background and all the side effects this brings with. But to be fair, that can be said about any game, any piece of art, music, or whatever your impetuous cerebrum can produce. And surely, those people with a high sensitivity for Japanese culture, animes, or video game history will likely connect to these circumstances, and they will joyfully embrace combining their taste on MMOs with this Japanese context, where Final Fantasy XIV definitely is among the most popular and one, if not the most well received in addition to that. Okay, we have Mikotis, which are the cat girls in Final Fantasy XIV that are linked to anime culture or anything like that. But while not being a hardcore manga or anime enthusiast, I honestly cannot remember where I have seen cat girls in the latest anime I watched. These are primarily taking place in high schools or universities, so I could also come around with, hey student Sarah, you're at high school, right? Oh, that's some weird anime shit you're running there. And above that, did you check out allied races, dear Asmongold? These can easily be put into the fun with furries sector than anything we have in Final Fantasy XIV. And while we still have potatoes, aka Lalafell, WoW had gnomes since the first day that look easily as goofy and stupid as you would imagine a Lalafell to be. And damn, at least our potatoes are animated cutely and not like Super Mario that has lost some chromosomes that he actually never had. But truth to be told, there's definitely some coherent attraction to Final Fantasy XIV's world and content, that you may stumble over the one or the other Japan maniac. But honestly, in general that is not harmful in any way, as sharing the passion for something is good, right? And on the other side, discontent is also able to connect people. Like Asmongold said many times, the best about the WoW community is the fact that they merge into a swarm cluster when it comes to bashing the shit out of the game they play. So even hate can create company. And while I don't consider weeps as a threat to the Final Fantasy community or their public image and self-reflection, my guesses are that another very special feature about Final Fantasy XIV attracts them. And this is actually something I would support to 100%, namely a good story, which is the defining factor that separates anime from the usual Vampire Diaries. Sorry girls, but if you want a good vampire story, check out Hellsing or Bram Stoker's Dracula. And while I don't like having the focus on teenagers fighting demons with magical powers while learning for their high school diploma, the plot and presentation of some anime, movies or series are way ahead of the usual Hollywood nonsense. So it's more likely the character development, plot presentation and connectivity to the world you are deeply related with that draws the line between Final Fantasy and anime, which is the driving force for these so-called weeps. That brings us to the number one tip and conclusion on this topic. Always encounter people with limited focus on your personal stage of prejudice. Because even the craziest weeb can be the nicest guy you will ever meet in your life or in game. If you don't talk shit about his anime, of course. But it could happen, so never generalize these aspects onto each person to avoid the creation of biased injustice. By the way, here in Germany, not all people are Nazis, okay? Just in fact you didn't know that. So whatever kind of person you are, weeb, neckbeard or Mr. Star Trek wedding, whenever you're passionate about something, go for it. And don't let others ruin that enjoyment, as long as you're not ruining theirs with your fanatism. And for those of you that can only encounter those people with anger and disgust, remember, there are two things a person should never be angry at: what they can help and what they cannot. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope I can help you with some Final Fantasy content in the future or in another video. But of course, if you want to talk with me about Plato, Kant or Asmongold, check me out on Twitch for all sorts of Final Fantasy content. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy and keep loving Final Fantasy.
Man, it feels like there's a lot of girls that play this game. Like, I don't know, am I the only person that's noticed that? There's a lot of girls that play this game. God damn, man, that's wild.